Hello everyone, welcome to Willow and Roots. It's Michelle here and I have another reading for you. Today's reading we're going to receive healing messages from the universe. There's going to be 3 options to choose from. I'm going to be using these are dice that I made and they have topics on all sides. So I'm going to roll it for each option and that's going to be the area where the healing guidance will be coming from. Okay, but first I would like to send healing to everyone globally, especially in the Caribbean, in Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti. They really need it. Also Nigeria, they really need it, and anywhere else that you guys can think of. These are just areas that comes to mind. We all are able to send healing energy to any location at this time. But one thing we need to remember is we are in a period of the we are. That means coming together and helping one another. It's about unity. We came out of the I am, and that means focusing mainly on the self, discovering the self, discovering gifts and abilities, discovering strength, so on and so forth. But now we're in the we are, where we're taking what we know about ourselves, the wisdom that we've gained from our experiences, and helping our fellow human. It's not about us against them. It's not about conflict, fighting with each other. It's about common interests, finding the common interests, and going from there. Because we can relate when there's common interests. And aiming to build a better future or environment. Again, it's not about fighting and separation. It's not about being easily triggered when someone says something that rubs you the wrong way. You have to understand who you are. If someone, let's say they call you a see you next Tuesday, you don't have to take that on board. You don't have to be triggered because the work that you did during the I am phase, you know that you are not a CUNT, so why are you absorbing that? You don't take that. You just keep it moving. You have more important things to do with your time than worrying about what someone says or how they feel about you. That's their business. They're taking the time to think about you and not think about themselves or what they can do to improve their lives or help others. The key thing is when you're walking the path, and remember, Jesus Christ did this. There's a lot of people who thought so many different things about him, even offered him violence. And because his heart was so big, so pure, and he had a mission, he helped those bloody people out. The same people who talked bad about him and hated him, they were blessed. And that's one of the major lessons that we're meant to understand and try to aim towards. It's just a bit of food for thought. When a person claims to be moving with God, working with God, it's not an easy task at all, because there's something that is pure and perfect about that essence, what it represents and how you're meant to be. And for a human, it's a challenge, and we always fall back on that default. Well, I'm only human, my imperfections are perfect. So being triggered, which would be an imperfection, that's perfect, that sets you back. So the key is to recognize the imperfection and see if it affects the mission. If it's going to create roadblocks, how do you overcome them? How do you lift those roadblocks so the path is clear for you to continue on your divine mission? I'm just saying. All right, let's get on with this reading. So we have 3 options. So this is option 1. So we're going to roll the die. Okay. We have gems, nature, trees. So you're getting guidance from them. Option 2. Finances. Woo. And option 3, self. Okay, so option 1, gems, nature, trees. Option 2, finances. And option 3, the self. So you can pause the video, choose a die, let's get to it. Hello, option 1, for those of you who selected the first die, the gems, nature, trees, here's your reading. So you are going to get guidance from nature. Okay, what guidance do you have for option 1? Healing guidance. So when it comes to nature, it's like organic, something that comes naturally or is within you. You were built with this ability. Okay, that landed on the ground. The wound of the hungry root. Love. Ace of Swords. Okay, so there's some truth here. Now with the fact that we have the love card here, it could be about a relationship and a need for allowing the natural flow in a relationship, being in a place where communication comes naturally in a relationship. So making it a habit to be able to express yourself and to not hold on to grievances, right? This is about setting up routines. This is about clarity, pretty much. Let's just sum it up. Clarity in a connection, a relationship. It can also be where two people want to be together, but each person does not know how the other feels. Okay, let's read the wound of the hungry root. Seeking depth in shallow ground. This wound forms when longing for connection, meaning, or truth is met with emptiness or surface level bonds. You reach deeper, but there's nothing solid to hold. It can leave you feeling starved of intimacy, spiritually restless, and unsure if what you seek even exists. Wow. With the nature die, it's telling me a relationship should not be extremely difficult, challenging, overwhelming. Okay, it shouldn't be that type of hard work where each person is pulling their hair out or each person is feeling discontent. I really feel here there's a holding back of grievances, a need to get a lot off your chest. There's a feeling of lack of support when it comes to your personal needs, like needing a shoulder to cry on. That's both people in the relationship. So it's like I'm unable to talk to them because they may not take what I'm saying seriously, or they may not be of great support or help. It's being in an empty relationship. It's pulling away emotionally from a relationship. So you may be present, but emotionally you have left. So there's a need to have a heart to heart. What nature is saying is love is still there. And if the love is worth fighting for, there's a need for you to communicate. Okay? A need to communicate. And if the relationship has love, but you don't see a future with the person, you have to be upfront and honest with them. This is about truth, okay? And for both people involved, you have to fill your cup, meaning you don't sit in a situation where you are pretty much harming yourself emotionally, which then leads to harming yourself mentally, which then leads to your body responding to that. So you're physically depleting your energy, and then it can manifest into something more serious. So it's really getting to the bottom of things. Hungry roots, roots that don't receive water, nourishment, it dies. And it gets to a point where you can't rescue it, you cannot save it. So make sure that any new relationships you may have, so let's say this is a relationship that ended, this may be the pattern. Any new relationship that you enter in, make it a must that the lines of communication is safe and open. That's what this is saying. A relationship does not have to be very challenging. Of course, you will have ups and downs, but when you communicate, you can work through it. And it's like misunderstandings, really. But the nature die saying, go with the flow. Relationships should be in flow. Both individuals should be in flow. And that's your message. So I'm going to end the reading right here. If this reading resonates, leave a comment down below. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, press the notification bell. I'm also offering personal readings on Etsy. Information on that is in the description box below. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello, option 2. For those of you who selected the second die, the finances die. Here's your reading. Okay, so we're dealing with money here. Let's see what guidance finances have for you. Now with finances, that's energy. Okay, so receiving guidance from energy. Okay, guidance for option 2. Finances, what guidance do you have for option 2? Finances, what guidance do you have for option 2? Woo! Finances, what guidance do you have for option 2? Okay, so you have the wound of the weight of witness. Sorrow. Queen of Wands. Okay. Let's read the weight of witness. But what I'm initially getting from this is there's a need to inject inspiration and drive in your career or in your life in order to improve your finances. The Queen of Wands, that's about drive. I mean, she's a boss, but she takes risks. Not too dissimilar to the Knight of Wands, where they're go-getters and they worry about the consequences later. Whenever the consequences come, they'll deal with it then. But the Queen of Wands is more calculating and more magnetic. She attracts opportunities, and when the opportunities presents themselves, then she takes advantage of them. Okay, so there's a lure type energy here. Okay, let's see. Weight of witness. Carrying what you couldn't fix. This wound arises when you've held space for pain, trauma, or injustice you couldn't change. You saw too much, felt too deeply, or stood by helplessly. It can leave you heavy with guilt, sorrow, or helplessness. Not for what you did, but for what you couldn't do. Wow. So this is really feeling like, I don't intend for this to sound mean, wallowing. This is what that feels like here. So there may have been a failure, something that really hit your finances hard, or it just didn't work. So what you had great hopes for, it didn't go according to plan, and you're in a period of regret, wallowing, and fear. But what finances is telling you to step in the Queen of Wands energy, where you got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. Do not lose sight of the dream. Continue to be inspired. Okay? I'm hearing go back to the drawing board and see where you may have made the wrong move and make the necessary improvements or corrections or refinement. Never give up. You see this flame? You see that? This is like a roaring flame here. And we have water and fire energy. The passion, because we have the water elemental, the emotion, and the fire, the energy. You're fueling your passion. Do not let failure set you back. There's a need to go inwards and connect with that dream idea, that passion, and reignite it. The failure should be seen as a lesson. Again, where did you go wrong and how can you improve it? Correct it so it doesn't happen again. Even seeing if you are on the right path. For some of you, it's not to copy what others have done. It's to come up with something new, a reinvention, a new way of doing something, a new approach. But it's not to wallow. You're not being called to do that. And finances is saying if you want to get it, you got to keep moving. That was a consequence. Okay, I get it. I've learned from it. Now we're going to repair this. We're going to fix this. And then we're going to keep going. That's what finances is saying. Anything else? Two of Wands. The time is now. It's up to you. Okay? This is giving me even changing strategy or course. To not put the flame out, but to make the adjustments. It just confirmed what I just said. But this is beautiful. And what's pretty evident here, it's not working hard, it's working smart. Working smart. Beautiful. So I'm going to end the reading right here. If this reading resonates, leave a comment down below. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, press the notification bell. I'm also offering personal readings on Etsy. Information on that is in the description box below. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello, option 3. For those of you who selected the third die, the self die, here's your reading. So, guidance from your higher self. Okay. See what's on. Let's see what's on. Can I have guidance for option 3, please? Higher self, what would you do? Really? What? Two? Came out reverse. What you're not doing? What's this? Okay. 2. Right. So you have the wound of the silenced oracle, the wound of the grinning mask, soldier, that came out in reverse, but I don't read reversals, party in reverse, but I don't read reversals, Five of Cups, the Lovers. What I'm getting from this is you have nothing to prove to nobody. Okay? If your connection ended, I'm getting like a keeping up with the Joneses vibe here. So people thought you were the perfect couple, so on and so forth, and it all ended and you're embarrassed. Don't. You really need to not care about that. And it's a similar thing with even like a choice or a decision that you may have made that did not work out. I mean, it totally was disastrous, right? It really didn't work out. And you may feel embarrassed because there's a lot of people who are probably hopeful and excited for you. Don't worry about that. Your higher self is saying this is what strengthens your character. The things that go wrong, the things that don't go according to plan. The person who can roll with the punches when it comes to failure and hold their head high and make plans to continue forward on their journey. That's someone who knows themselves. That's a strong character there. And your higher self wants you to be in that energy. It's not about the things that goes wrong, the failures, and how it looks to others. It's what is and how you live your life in truth or with the what is. Where do you go from there? Okay. Let's see what these cards are saying. We have the wound of the silenced oracle. Knowing truth but being punished for speaking it. This wound forms when your insight is met with fear, dismissal, or punishment. You may have spoken from clarity or intuition, only to be shamed, ignored, or cast out. It can leave you doubting your inner knowing, afraid to share your voice, or burying your truth to stay safe. Grinning mask. The wound of the grinning mask. Happiness worn to avoid concern. This wound forms when you learn to hide pain behind a smile to keep others comfortable. You become the one who's always fine even when you're unraveling inside. It can leave you feeling unseen, emotionally isolated, and afraid that dropping the mask will make you a burden. And then we have the card of the soldier, the protector, and then we have the party. It's like the one who has their act together. The person who has it all sussed, right? Their life is all great. When in fact, it's a shambles. Whether it is a bad decision that went wrong or a relationship that ended. And your friendship groups, they're just kind of taking a step back from you like you got the plague. You need a friend at this time. When it comes to the relationship breaking down and you could be saying that everything is cool, I'm okay, and you may be doing things to make it seem like you have your act together, right? The disappointment wasn't a major setback mentally, emotionally, physically. It's saying find someone to talk to. But it's saying it's not true. You're holding on to some truth. You're holding on to some type of pain. You're holding on to the disappointment. And numbing out, that's not the way forward. When you numb out, down the line, right, it's going to come up to the surface and it's going to hurt. you may experience a similar situation, a similar disappointment that triggers that old wound and it erupts. It's just an absolute mess. So it's important for you to work on or be truthful with yourself regarding disappointments and not bury. To find comfort in another, a person who you can trust, and you can share this pain with them and get it off your chest. It will help you to heal so much better. A problem shared is a problem halved. For someone, there's friends. You definitely have friends who will help you through this. You don't have to seem like, you're tough. Be vulnerable, melt a bit. They're saying there's at least one friend. King of batons, so King of wands. Again, the leader, the person who has everything under control. This could be a male, a guy. The emperor. Yeah, look at that. The Hierophant. The end of a marriage. Could be a same-sex situation as well. Ooh, what's happening? Two of Wands with the Hermit. Again, isolating yourself or keeping quiet about it to give the illusion that you're stronger, you have it under control. You really need to confide in a friend. If you can, say go away for the weekend. If you can, in like a cabin or someplace. Yeah. You need support from a friend. 6 of Pentacles. Yeah. 6 of Wands. That's the way forward. What you need to remember is a problem shared is a problem halved. That's so important. So I'm going to end the reading right here. If this reading resonates, leave a comment down below. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, press the notification bell. I'm also offering personal readings on Etsy. Information on that is in the description box below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.